Hey everyone, today we're diving into the world of Chaos Zero Nightmare and breaking down the absolute best characters for Season 2. Whether you're grinding for 5-star legends or scouting the strongest 4-star fighters, I've got you covered. We'll go through each combatant's overall power, how they perform in the current meta, and why they're ranked the way they are. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly who to pick for your team and who to keep an eye on for future updates. We'll also chat about some of the hidden gems that don't always get the spotlight but can seriously turn the tide of battle if used right. Plus, I'll share the exact criteria we used to rank every character so you can see why your favorites made the cut or didn't. So, grab your gear, sit back, and let's figure out who really dominates Season 2 in Chaos Zero Nightmare. I'm quickly moving on to the video and I'm ranking characters in Chaos Zero Nightmare. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
My friends, only 0.1% of viewers subscribe. If you like this type of content, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you in advance for your support.
The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Lucas, Tressa, and Maribel. Alright, buckle up because we're diving straight into the not quite S tier, but still kinda fun zone of Chaos Zero Nightmare. Yes, the infamous B tier. These are the characters that won't make your enemies cry in terror, but they definitely won't let your team flop either. Let's see who's hanging out here and why you might actually want to give them a shot. First up, we have Lucas. Lucas is your bullet-loving damage dealer who loves hitting multiple enemies at once. His main shtick is spreading damage across the battlefield, and he can mark enemies for extra punishment. He also introduces a weakness called Passion, which works really well if your team is built around passion-focused strategies. The catch? Lucas guzzles action points like there's no tomorrow, so you've got to plan carefully if you want him to really shine. Next is Tressa, a free-to-play damage dealer who just won't quit. Her style is all about applying damage over time effects to slowly chip away at enemies, making her excellent for follow-up teams. And here's the kicker. She can spam zero-cost shadow daggers, which makes her perfect for combo-heavy decks. She's like that friend who keeps showing up with snacks. You didn't ask for it, but you're really glad she did. Then we've got Owen, another free-to-play option. He's the guy you call when your DPS lineup isn't quite ready. He's easy to set up and can give your other characters multi-hit potential if you have the right epiphanies. But let's be real, his raw damage doesn't exactly break the game. He's more of a supportive damage dealer who can make big hitting units hit even harder, which can come in handy if you've got the right team composition. Finally, Maribel rounds out B tier with a mix of tankiness and counterattacks. She can generate shields based on the damage you deal and even turn that shield into damage of her own. Think of her as the character who slaps you back when you try to push too hard, but does it in a clever, calculated way. She's not the frontline hero you dream about, but she's that reliable buddy who keeps your team from face planting every fight. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Yuki, Selena, Owen, Amir, Magna, Renoa, Nia, and Diana. Alright, let's wander into the A tier of Chaos Zero Nightmare, where things start getting spicy but still need a little finesse. These characters aren't quite broken, but when you play them right, they can make your opponents sweat. Starting off, Yuki is your AoE damage queen if you love the inspiration tag. Her whole gig revolves around drawing the right cards at the right time. When she hits her stride, she's pretty efficient with action points, but get her in the wrong party or with a clunky build, and she'll crumble faster than a cookie in water. Timing and synergy are everything here. Selena is another DPS player who doubles down on versatility. She can mark enemies and break tenacity, which makes your team hit harder overall. Plus, she plays nicely with passion-focused lineups since she can apply passion weakness. She's like the Swiss Army knife of DPS, always handy but still needs the right hands to work magic. Amir comes in as a free-to-play tank with a unique twist. Her damage scales with her defenses. Sounds awesome, right? Well, her metallization ability doesn't quite hit hard enough, and she has one of the lowest defenses among tanks, making her tricky to slot into some team comps. She's solid, but she's picky about her squad. Then we have Magna, the offensive tank who loves to counterattack. Her damage scales from your defenses, making her a C bet for any team. She boosts survivability without being a total liability, which is why she's a flexible pick if you want to keep your frontline alive while still dishing out some punishment. Kayron is basically the definition of a team chameleon. He can be your main or sub DPS and works across a bunch of team setups. His strength comes from high AoE damage and the exhaust mechanic, which makes him hit harder the longer fights drag on. He's perfect if you like a character that scales with time and strategy. Rinoa specializes in single target destruction with her bullet playstyle. She excels at follow-up attacks for massive extra damage, but you've got to have teammates who can discard or draw her cards, or you'll end up choking your deck with dirge bullets. She's a glass cannon that demands a little babysitting, but the payoff is huge if done right. Cassius is the ultimate card drawing wizard. He shuffles your hand, lets you pull a specific card, and also provides heals, buffs, and debuffs through his quest mechanic and last potential node. Basically, if your deck is feeling messy, Cassius swoops in like a magician to clean things up while keeping your team healthy and ready to strike. Nia is your support MVP for high damage characters. She helps with discards, card searching, and top card activation. On top of that, she provides heals and sets up follow-up attacks, making her a subtle but powerful way to amplify your DPS lineup without being the center of attention. Finally, Diana is all about love bullets and discard synergy. She hits a lot, but RNG and low multipliers make it tough to hit massive numbers consistently. She's exciting, flashy, and a little unpredictable. Perfect if you enjoy rolling the dice for big payoff moments. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Haru, Rin, Chizuru, Hugo, Luke, Mika, Chiron, Tefera, Calliope, Cassius, Ray, and Rita. Alright, now we're entering the big leagues, the S tier of Chaos Zero Nightmare. This is where characters aren't just strong, they're game changers. If you want to dominate the battlefield, these are the heroes you want in your squad. Let's break them down. Haru is your burst damage queen. Her anchor shot can hit like a truck, especially if you get to fire it multiple times. She thrives in teams that let her draw extra cards because every card she gains is another chance to crush enemies. Timing her setup right can turn her into a real one-woman demolition squad. Chizuru is a fascinating puzzle piece. She uses Inhibit to reduce your team's card cost, but the trade-off is sacrificing the ability to gain action points. She's flexible, able to either spam basic cards or pull off a massive one-shot combo. If you like tinkering with builds, Chizuru is basically a sandbox for damage strategy. Hugo is your follow-up specialist. He shines when paired with other characters who trigger attacks, focusing on single target damage. He doesn't pair well with AoE characters who don't use targeting attack cards, but slot him correctly, and he can even step up as your main DPS to reliably execute those follow-ups. Precision is key here. Luke is another single target bullet user, but beware, his kit is RNG heavy. To maximize his potential, you need a high critical chance, otherwise his setup can feel a bit like rolling dice in the middle of a battlefield. Nail it though, and Luke can hit absurd damage numbers on key targets. Tefera is a next hit damage powerhouse with insane action point generation, possibly the best in the entire roster. She juggles her creation card between your hand and the draw discard pile, and using secondary cards to recover them unlocks massive value for the team. Managing her properly is like conducting an orchestra of chaos, and it hits beautifully. Mika is the free-to-play support dream. She focuses purely on healing and generating action points, making her an excellent backbone for almost any team. She won't steal the spotlight, but without her, your high damage units would struggle to survive the fight. Rin is the selfish DPS of the bunch, excelling as a solo powerhouse. She's action point neutral, which makes her tricky to slot with other supports, but her multi-hit epiphanies let her synergize beautifully with damage buffs. Just watch out, her tempo drops if someone else uses an attack card first. Calliope combines high AoE damage with defensive strength, making her versatile across almost all team compositions. She's great for setups, and her ability to deal tenacity damage helps break enemies while generating extra action points for your team. She's the kind of character that quietly keeps everything running smoothly while hitting hard. Ray is another free-to-play gem, acting as a support and damage buffer. She thins your deck, cycles cards efficiently, and provides huge morale buffs for multi-hit units. With her around, your high-damage characters start hitting like they've been on steroids without breaking the game. Finally, Rita is your AP Hungry Burst specialist. She deals massive few hit bursts using tons of action points, but her Chronicle mechanic helps her supply her own AP. She's a high risk, high reward damage dealer who can decimate enemies in short, punishing bursts. Just make sure you're ready to manage her AP properly. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, 9, Orlia, May, Lin, Naja, Serenial, Beryl, and Veronica. Alright, Now we're entering the S+ tier, the absolute elite of Chaos Zero Nightmare. These are the characters you build your dream team around, the ones that make other players sweat just by existing. Let's break down why they're at the top of the food chain. 9 is a heavy hitter who thrives on the exhaust mechanic and the shiny new ignition system. She rotates a card that ramps up in damage every use until it resets, making her insanely threatening if managed correctly. On top of that, she's a vanguard, giving her defensive capabilities so she can survive longer while dishing out punishing hits. She fits perfectly in teams that need either a hard-hitting unit or an extra shielder. Orlia is the versatile support everyone dreams of. She dishes consistent damage while keeping your team's HP in check. Her retain mechanic takes a bit of finesse since she benefits more from long fights, but once she ramps up, she's basically a one-woman sustain engine for your team. Patience here really pays off. Mei Lin is the go-to single-target DPS for passion-focused teams. She reliably applies passion weakness and deals tenacity damage to generate more action points. As both a passion buffer and damage dealer, she's likely to remain relevant even as new, stronger DPS characters are released. If your team revolves around passion, she's basically mandatory. Naja is a support with a healing touch and damage buffs, but she's picky. She shines only with a well-built deck and a properly synergized team. Her unique cards also allow her to help with save data building, making her a specialized but potent option for players who plan carefully. Serenial is an AP-efficient DPS who can pump out multiple laser hits with her ravage and card movement interactions. She's flexible enough to slot into a variety of team compositions, making her both reliable and deadly without requiring a perfect setup. Beryl is all about burst damage. She retains her strongest attack cards to either boost damage or reduce their action point cost. Alternatively, she can hold cards to trigger upgrade effects, unleashing multiple hits on enemies. She's versatile and explosive, the kind of character that makes every turn feel exciting. Finally, Veronica is a sub-DPS powerhouse who summons ballistas to deal high free damage each turn. She can also draw other character cards, further amplifying her team synergy. She's perfect for players who like a supportive, high damage playstyle that keeps the team flowing smoothly while constantly hitting hard. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.